Okay, today we're going to have a look at adding fractions. Adding fractions is not the easiest operation. People are often tempted to think, because you learn adding first with normal numbers, that when you do it with fractions it is the easiest. Arguably, multiplication is a lot easier to do with fractions, just because there's less steps, okay? With adding fractions, you need to be confident with what we mean by equivalent fractions, being able to manipulate them, being able to simplify them. So can you take a fraction and manipulate its denominator and numerator so it's still the same value, but it has different numbers in it? You also just need to be confident with your adding, okay? Right then, so the steps towards adding fractions, the first thing you need to do is get to the point where they have a common denominator, okay? So make it so they have a common denominator. Okay, by denominator, I just mean the bottom part of the fraction. So make that bottom number the same. Okay, once you've got them to be a common denominator, all you do is add up the two numerators and then write that as a fraction. So once you've got a common denominator, you add the numerators. So let's run through a quick example. So we're going to have 4/5 plus, let's go for 1/10. Okay, now it's not like multiplication. You cannot just add the tops and add the bottoms. What you have to do is make it so the denominators are the same. So you want to find a common multiple of 10 and 5. Well, I think the quickest way to go about this one would be 10 is in the 5 times table. So we could manipulate this first fraction, okay, using equivalent fractions so that the denominator is 10. Okay, so let's do that. So in order to make the denominator here 10, we're going to have to times the 5 by 2. Okay, but because we want to keep it equivalent, we're going to have to times the 4 by 2 as well. So 4 times 2 gives us 8, and 5 times 2 gives us 10. Okay, the denominator on this second fraction is already 10, so we can write it like that. Okay, so this here, this statement, 8/10 plus 1/10, is exactly the same as 4/5 plus 1/10. All we've done is change that first fraction using equivalent fractions so that the denominator is the same. Okay, we've done the hard work. Now all we have to do is add the numerator. So 8/10 add 1/10 is going to be 9/10. Okay, that's the most basic kind of problem. I mean, all you need to do is look for a common multiple of the bottom two numbers, the denominators, and then make it so that they're the same. Once they're the same, you just add the two numerators and leave the denominator as what it is. We can then have a quick check. Can this be simplified? 9 and 10 do not share any common factors, so it cannot be simplified. Right, let's have a look at another question. We're going to have 15/8 plus 6/3. Okay, we're going to leave this as a fraction. If you turn it into whole numbers, it could become a slightly easier problem. But then you'd have to worry about manipulating into improper and not proper, and improper and mixed numbers, and we're not going to do that yet. Okay, so first of all, we want to make the denominators the same. Okay, so we need to find the lowest common multiple of 8 and 3. So we could do our prime factorization and our Venn diagram to work that out. The lowest is going to be whatever 3 times 8 is. 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, so we're going to aim for 24 on both of these. So you're going to have something over 24 plus something else over 24, okay? So to get from this to 24, what you did was you did 3 lots of that. So let's do 3 lots of 15. That is going to be 15, 30, 45. Okay, in order to get to 24 here, you've times the 3 by 8, so you're going to have to times the 6 by 8 as well. So 6 times 8 is going to be 48. Okay, now all you're going to do is add up the numerators. So the bottom has to be the same, 24. So it's going to be 45 85, 93. Okay, so what I did was add these two numbers up to get 93. The denominator stays the same. Okay, one more example. Let's do 3 fractions this time. We're going to have 1/2 plus 2/3 plus 3/4. Okay, so we want to find the lowest common multiple of 2, 3, and 4. Well, 2 and 4 are already in the same times table. So I'm going to focus on getting a common multiple of 3 and 4, and then it should be fairly clear what I do to this 2 because I've already manipulated the 4, okay? So the lowest common multiple of 3 and 4 would be, what goes 3, 6 is not in the 4 times table, 9 isn't, 12 is. So let's get the bottom number to be 12. So we're going to have something over 12, we're going to have to arrange this one, plus something else over 12, plus something else over 12. Okay, so the first number, what do we times a 2 by to get to 12? Well, 6 lots of 2 gives us 12, so we're going to do 6 times 1, which is 6 twelfths. Okay, the next fraction, to get that 3 equal to 12, we did 4 lots of 3, so we're going to do 4 times 2 to get you 8 on that fraction. And then on this one, what did we do to get from 4 to 12? Well, we times by 3, so then I'm going to do 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, so the answer to this question is going to be over 12, and it's going to be 6 plus 8 plus 9. Okay, so what's that going to be? We've got 6, add 9 is 15, add 8 is 23. So we get an answer of 23 over 12.